Hello, welcome back to school. In this video, we are going to go through Unit 1 for the CSA course, just as an overview for the first unit to kick off your school year. So Unit 1 is Introductions Are in Order. So this is kind of a light unit that introduces students to the course. It introduces students to computer science, the CSA course, and then they do a little bit of Java Turtle programming. It also introduces the cast of characters that they will be following all year long for the unit projects. So they'll be introduced to the characters, V, Henny, Antonio, and Ed, that are in all the anchor videos for the unit projects, and it will introduce the problem that they're going to solve, or many problems that they solve over the year. The students in your class are the tech team that helps the characters solve problems in each of the continents that they visit on their journey to find V's mom. So it's a great unit to start with. It's a good unit to do. It's about 14 days. It's a good unit to do as students are kind of dropping classes, adding classes, because they're not going to miss any of the Java content that the other units, starting with Unit 2, introduce for the course and the exam. But it introduces students to some of the topics like algorithms, abstractions, giving them the definitions, and those topics and definitions will be revisited all year long. There's just a few lessons in here. There's the project launch, and then they'll have a couple of work days, 3 work days kind of at the end. They've got to get enough content and instruction on Java Turtle to be able to create their project, and then a review and a test. So let's just start kind of by hitting each of the assignments. So the Unit 1 overview. Every unit starts with an overview. When you go in through the overview menu over here, when you're in overview, and you click preview to open an assignment, you come to the teacher page first. So this gives the teachers a little bit of introduction, and then during understandings, the next page is the student overview. So tells the student about the unit, and then about the project, the goals, learning objectives, the thinking practices, and during understandings that this unit covers. And then there's the pacing guide. So this kind of helps you plan out. These are all based on number of 50-minute periods. So if you are on a block schedule, you would just need to adjust. So there's 14 days total for this unit. And the last day after the test, that's the day students present their avatars. So that's the unit overview. The next lesson is vocabulary, which is in all the units. So again, our teacher page with the solutions here for any vocabulary that's introduced in this unit. We also have a video here that kind of describes how to use the vocabulary and how to grade it. And then if you go to the student page, so throughout the student pages in a unit, vocabulary terms are defined in a special call-out box that looks like this. And so I would have students open this, have this window open as you go through a particular assignment. And then when they see a definition, they would just type that definition in here. And then, by the end of the unit, maybe have this due right before the unit review, then they mark as complete, and you can come in and grade it. So it's just they can copy and paste the words. It's just for them to focus on what vocabulary is for this particular unit. And then they can also use this to study. There's an assessment in the review for them for the vocabulary. The next lesson is the Avatar Creator Project Launch. So every unit starts off introducing the project to the students, and this is project-based. instruction. And so we introduce the project first thing. You've got your teacher lesson plans that describes kind of what project-based is. You can tell this to the students, describe it, what collaboration should be about, what's an ideal group. And then we've got launch, the actual project launch. So we've got some documents over here that you can print out, like a KWL chart, a group contract. You can print those out and hand those out to students. We recommend a group of two, I think, four, if the numbers work out. But each student is going, in this one, each student needs to do their own project. But they can use those other group members to collaborate, discuss algorithms, help them debug, things like that. The teacher preparation, so we always provide a solution for you for the project, and this is just a sample solution. Of course, students will have something different. So for Java graphics, you've got to open the output tab and then compile and run. And so this might take a minute to draw, but there's an example avatar. So remember, you can adjust your panels and windows, things like that. And then you can click the tab to look back at the solution. So I encourage you to draw your own avatar if you have not done that yet. You know, the other lessons in the unit kind of show you how to do this. The student page starts off with the anchor video. So even if you choose not to do Unit 1, please let students watch the anchor video so that they can see what the storyline is and meet the characters. Every unit has an anchor video that goes with it. Here is a definition. So this is the definition of an avatar. So they would want to put that in their vocabulary assignment. This gives them instructions on what they have to do, what they're submitting, and then the rubric that you will use to grade. So 70-point rubric. And then this is an additional teacher page that has the learning objectives and the EK statements. So your lesson plans, your lessons or assignments are bookended by teacher pages, and then in the middle are the student pages. So this is another teacher-only page. It's got your vocabulary, some additional resources. So that's your project launch. Then we get into what is computer science. This is a 2-day activity. This should be facilitated synchronously. Students are going to do a report here. So there's a rubric that you will use to grade it. First, though, have a discussion with students, get some definitions of what it is, what is a computer. Here's anything in a purple box is your teacher guidance. So this is for you only shows up for you. If you click on your gear here, View as Teacher is on. If you toggle that off, you'll see what a student sees. So view it on, turn it on, and you see you get more information as teacher guidance. So we've got some definitions here. Again, they'll take these and put them in that first vocabulary assignment. So just review the definitions, problem solving, how computer science is used for problem solving, and then this is their group project. So again, that same group. So we suggest or recommend that you assign a group of students. You group the students at the beginning of the unit and keep that same group throughout. So all the assignments, any group assignment, that same group will be together. And then in Unit 2, you switch your groups up. So this is your project. Students will work on this, and then they create a timeline, and they will upload it here. These are instructions, and here's their rubric. So we provide rubrics for just about all the assignments to help you in grading. And then the next assignment is an Introduction to CSA. This only takes about 25 minutes. So students will look through the CED, and it's kind of a scavenger hunt. They'll have to find some things in this CED, just to get them familiar with it. And here's some discussion topics for you. And then introduces them to Java. So that's your that's your intro assignment. The next assignment introduces to the Java graphics. So it kind of describes how this is going to work. So students are going to draw an avatar, a characterization, graphical icon of how they see themselves. So this describes the way Java programs are set up and some just main concepts in Java that, are important. Another reason why you should definitely do this unit, because it talks about the main method, curly braces, compiling, running, what that looks like, what error messages look like. And then here is information about the turtle and how it works with your panels, your output panel, compile and run, and what to do to end. And then some how turtle starter code for your turtle. So you've got your IDE over here on the right panel. With the instruction, or what we call the guides, on the left side of the screen. And then anything that your students see that are in a box like this, that's an activity for students to do. So they'll start by copying and pasting or typing in some code, and then they can play around with different Java commands, turtle commands. And then we always provide a sample solution for you. So if you don't really know turtle, then we've got some solutions here. And you can just copy these and put them in the IDE and run those. Let's see. And then a little bit about errors. So here's some more vocabulary. And then we ask students to actually make some errors. So I think that's all for that lesson. Oh, no, there's some content on the fill method. It's a little bit different than you might think it is. And so we describe here how that fill method is going to work. And that's kind of important to get it to work correctly. So that's all of that assignment. Then we go to algorithms. So again, I'm just going down here, these assignments. So algorithms, so this is a great introduction to algorithms. Again, we've got a solution for you here. Just describes, got an activity here, have students think about what they do, the order that they do things in the morning. Then there's a peanut butter and jelly algorithm activity here. And then the definition, what pseudocode is, and then a maze, and their activity here is getting the turtle to the red square. So they have to write the algorithm to do that using the commands given here. So just algorithm practice. Can you write the correct steps to get the blue turtle to the red square? Let's see, is that so? That's that assignment. Then we go into abstraction. So they're learning more Java commands as they do this. So that's going to help them with their avatar. The next lesson is on abstraction. We've got a solution here. We've got some things for you to even say to students. And then they're going to draw an emoji. So that's going to be kind of the start of their avatar, is drawing maybe a face. So we talk about what abstraction is. We define it. And then we give students the opportunity to draw their emoji. They're going to have a rubric. We have a Turtle Methods reference guide here that comes up that describes all the methods that they would need. There might be some more Turtle methods, but these are all that they're going to need to accomplish these tasks. So how to change the color, direction, all those things. And then this is what their assignment has to have. Their emoji has got to have these things. These are some of the common methods they might use. And then here's the rubric that you will grade it. So abstraction, emoji, and then from there, now it's time to work on their avatar. So what we do is typically we introduce a project, we give some instruction, several days of instruction, topics, we're introducing concepts, and then usually we'll have a work day here. With this unit, since it's a smaller unit, we kind of do all the instruction and then we just let them work on the project at the end of the day. But other units, usually after we introduce a project, we have a few assignment days and then they can take what they learned here and apply it and start working on their project. So they won't necessarily be able to finish the project, but they'll have enough content that they learned to start on their project. And so that's the way project-based instruction works. So this is a little different in that you kind of do the project at the end of the lesson, just because there wasn't a whole lot that we wanted to introduce here. So is this the workday? Okay, so we start with this all about me. So you can hand this out individually and let students, it's kind of a inventory, lets them think about themselves a little bit, what's unique about them. And then they draw their self-portrait here, so they've got something to work off of. And then they'll start working on the project. So we give them some starter code, not a lot, but a little bit. Give them the canvas to work on and the turtle. After they've completed that worksheet, I'd print it out and hand it to them. Then they can start coding their avatar. And then, so that's 2 days worth. And then the fourth day would be where they finish their code, they check their rubric, maybe get a partner to check to see that they have everything in their rubric, provide feedback. And then they've got written responses to complete. So lets them have a time of reflection on their project, how they came up with what turtle methods they used, how they used them, and then describe the development. What problems did they have and how to fix them? So it's a great time for students to be able to reflect on completing their program. And so when they're done with this, they mark that one complete. And then the fifth day, back here, let's see here. The fifth day of the project is always just a presentation day, so we don't do a separate assignment for that. That's usually within that last work day. And they'll present their avatar, discuss their written responses, and then turn in their KWL chart. And then we have a review. So this starts out with your vocabulary review. So students are going to come in here and complete this kind of fill in the blank for vocabulary. So they should have completed the vocabulary and turned that in, and they can use that assignment to study. And then they have matching here. And then we ask them just to come up with a comic strip about any one of the topics that we discussed in Unit 1. So let them pick the topic and create a comic strip. You can print out, there's a sample here for them to look at. There's some online comic strips, and so if they want to use those, then they'll just submit the link to that. Or you can print out the blank. I think that there's different comics here. Yeah. So there's some templates here, so you could print those out for different and then have those available for students. So that's a review for Unit 1. And then we have the Unit 1 test. All the tests are going to basically kind of have the same thing. We do provide a Word doc with a key if you would rather do it on paper, but they're just auto-graded multiple choice questions based on information in the unit. This again is teacher view, so you're going to see the rationale for each of the questions. If you turn that off, you'll see how students see what students see. So they'll go through, mark the right answer, and then We also usually have free response. Yes. So we also have free response. So usually it's 15 multiple choice and 2 free response. And so you'll have to come in and grade these. The multiple choice will be graded, auto-graded, but you'll have to come grade the free response. So that's an overview of Unit 1. I love this unit. I love Java Turtle. It's animated. I think it's fun for students, and it's a good way to introduce them to the course.